I remember being at ANZ Bank and seeing something, like an ad, I think, at General Assembly, which said, oh, go to this talk about the new thing in Victoria about startups. I'm like, that sounds interesting. And it was actually, I think, one of the launch events for Launch Vic. And I sat in the audience as a corporate girlie just going like, what is going on here? Like, I don't understand. And just absorbing this new language. And so that was sort of when I was getting involved in the ecosystem and just understanding what the community was and who was around. And then I remember like individuals, like people that were professionals working in places like universities who, you know, you tell them an idea and they go, let me introduce you to someone. And it was actually professionals, I thought, that were the ones that really helped unlock the doors.
What do you think makes the Victorian startup ecosystem unique?
I do think there's a lot of there is a lot of founders who have been successful here who are willing to give back. We certainly have a lot of those involved at Tractor, and we knew that that it's interesting from the Tractor standpoint, which is if you're backed by a VC, you're generally then taken into the VC cohort, and the VC will have a whole bunch of stuff for you. But if you're not, you got nowhere to go. So we formed a community for all the rest of the founders that are not venture backed, of which Jeanette's part of that, and the people in there solve different problems. So I think going out and looking for the people who are in a similar space to you are. Not necessarily from the type of business you're making, but just where you're at in your journey. The problems you're running into are generally being experienced by other people. So, and there's plenty of those people around. If you go and ask around for them, they'll definitely put their hand up to help.
Those were the people here in Victoria that helped me. Really practical introductions, like job flexibility, information, community. Like that was what helped me.
People think you have to go elsewhere, but we didn't have to. We already have the technology, we have the resources. In fact, most of it was right here in Victoria for us. We had the key opinion leaders here, we had investors, we had the customers right here. We just had to build that first version to get feedback, and then the rest happened.
As Jeanette was saying, there's diversity not only of talent and founders who have been successful in the state, but there's also diversity across industries, ecosystem that's willing to help, and a very good community feel. It's a city that is almost a small city in a respect, because a lot of people do know each other, so with your reputation becomes opportunities.
We were really fortunate in StartMate to have Chris and Alex, who are the founders of Mindset Health, and they're just like the best. I remember literally Lyrebird's story is like before and after meeting those guys, and they were our mentors through StartMate. And they were the ones that told us, for example, just to like go all out on product-led growth, just build something people love and don't worry about paid ads or something. And that was like a really like before and after moment for us. And I think for us, if we hadn't have met them in StartMate, I'm not sure where we'd be now, but very grateful we did.
Throughout our journey, a lot of our growth to start with was word of mouth and actually the contacts. So leveraging those contacts very early helps go outside of Victoria, but to begin with is a very, very sensible approach is to start small and then scale from here as well. So we've experienced that.
And Kai?
I think the best city to start a startup is the one that you're in right now. And if you're in Victoria right now, just go do it. I think that's, there's no time like the present. And I think Victoria's been great for us, but I think just doing it as well. It's like
but the world is waiting.
Exactly.
I think it's waiting for you to start a startup. Do you think that we do think big enough in Australia? Do you think if someone's at early stage idea, maybe getting toward that first customer, we hear this global from day one, it's quite an audacious big thing. Do you think we think big enough?
Yeah, I think we do, but oftentimes because being a founder is not necessarily something that's inherent in all our lives. When you tell it to your mates, then you're likely to sort of turn it down a little bit. And I used to be a partner at StartMate, and I used to say that, and we used to take, before COVID, we used to take the founders to San Francisco. I said, look, the same slide when you pitch it to an Aussie investor, they'll ask you, are you sure? Is that's a bit too big? And the same slide in the US, they'll go, it's too small.
Yeah.
So, you genuinely need to believe that you can do the thing, do the big thing. But it's that very next step that you're really talking to. Show that it can be really big, and then tell them what you're going to do, and then hopefully do it. If you can do that over and over and over again, you will get there. But if it's you definitely need to think big, and I do think we think big. It's just you just got to get going though.